Let's talk about Reese's. Welcome back to Sprung On Food. I'm your host, Kae Sprung. This season, we're talking about favorite foods, the history behind it, and the role it plays in the world today. Joining me today is improv comedian and host of Even the Rich, Rich and Weekly, and Even the Royals, Aricia Skidmore-Williams. Aricia, welcome.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Hello.
I am very excited to have you here today because your favorite food is Reese's, and I have to know all about your relationship with this food and why it's your favorite.
Oh gosh. It's your classic story. I was in orchestra, but I had a friend who was in band, and band had to sell candy. And one of my friend's neighbor, she lived 3 houses down, 4 houses up the street. She would have these boxes of Reese's she had to sell for band or whatever. And I would go over to her house after school, and I would just buy them. And I would eat them. I would eat them and then buy them. And it was just, that was the beginning of my unhealthy relationship with Reese's, but also just amped up my Reese's adoration, because the band room where also orchestra was just smelled like good candy.
Oh.
And between that and Halloween, I mean, I've always loved Reese's. Reese's was the candy we would eat first, because my parents made us have candy funerals after a week where we had to throw our candy
What's
away.
a candy funeral?
We were only allowed to have candy in the house for a week, because
What?
So after a week, my parents, we'd have to get our candy, and my parents would play funeral music, and we'd stand around the trash can saying
What?
This candy, crazy. My family is crazy. But so Reese's were the candy that I made sure to eat before it was time
never saw a funeral, right?
It never saw a funeral, no.
Oh, thank goodness.
No.
Which candies definitely always appeared at the funeral?
Oh God, candy corn, get out of here with that. Tootsie Rolls, get out of here with that as well.
Okay.
Most of the I'm not a big fruit candy. I'll eat Starburst, but I don't love them. Skittles, those kinds of things. So
they were always R.I.P. The funeral music, what was that like?
Well, it was my dad being sometimes I thinking back. This was obviously a very long time ago, but I think it was
Don't
similar
lie,
to
you know you did it last year.
Last year, my dad made me throw my candy away. So he did. I'm pretty sure sometimes, some years he would do the what are they called? The Stormtrooper March, da da da, or I guess that's Darth Vader's march. I think sometimes
very
it was
creative.
But it was just very
no Ave Maria. Okay.
No Ave Maria. Or just somber. Although Ave Maria is somber, but
yeah.
Somber, not a specific song type of a tune. Yeah.
Just something fitting for candy going in. And did it go into the ground? Down
it went into a trash can, and then that went out. Although now my parents' church, they have all the kids give their candy after a week to give to a food assistance network now. So it's a better alternative than the trash.
Yes, and less depressing. So
less depressing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, amazing. And so the Reese's was always reigning supreme. You had your first foray to the shout out to the friend. I mean, did they shout out Leslie?
She didn't eat them the way that I did, and it was also a part because I grew up in a little bit of a restrictive household when it came to food. Not it was just we had natural peanut butter instead of the Jif peanut butter, and we had wheat bread instead of white bread. So just it was a food that we didn't have in my house regularly, and it was really good. So
yes,
that peanut butter chocolate combination, I mean,
classic.
My God.
Yes, so genius. Well, to fully appreciate our food, we've got to know where it came from. So
yes, we do.
Let's take a stroll down Chocolate Lane, where we find one of history's most delicious creations, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. But behind every great candy is a great story. This one begins in Hershey, Pennsylvania, back in 1923, when H.B. Reese, a man with a sweet dream, decided to whip up some magic. H.B. Reese wasn't just any candy maker. He was a Hershey insider, once working on a Hershey dairy farm. Inspired by the chocolate empire around him, Reese set up shop and launched the H.B. Reese Candy Company. His star product? A humble treat called penny cups, so named because, they sold for just 1 cent. From day one, Reese used Hershey chocolate in his creations, and it paid off big time. Among his various confections, the peanut butter cups quickly became the fan favorite, eventually prompting Reese to ditch his other candy lines and go all in on his peanut butter masterpiece. Reese sadly passed away in 1956, but his candy empire stayed in the family. He left the company to his 6 sons, because what's sweeter than running a chocolate business with your siblings? Aricia, you have siblings, is that correct?
I do. I have 2 younger brothers.
Would you ever go into business with them?
No way. I think I'm 3 years older than the next one, and then 7.5 years older than my youngest brother. And I think I'm often the peacekeeper by default, the burden of being the oldest child who's also a daughter. But number one, we have no overlapping interests that are strong enough that we'd want to run a business together about it.
Okay.
And number 2, 3 hotheads just not a good business partnership make. I think we would all have, well, my idea is better. I think I'm right. And it's good. We're all in very different fields.
Okay, fair enough. Well, luckily the Reese sons got along better. And in a genius move, the Reese brothers merged the H.B. Reese Candy Company with the Hershey Chocolate Corporation on July 2nd, 1963, in a stock-for-stock deal that made everyone a whole lot richer and probably very popular at family reunions. By 1969, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups had become Hershey's top seller. Now, let's rewind a little bit to the 1950s, when Hershey chocolate dipped its toes into the world of panned candies. Think candy-coated chocolates like M&Ms. Their first attempt, Hershey-ettes. Cute name, but here's the catch. Cute name. Yes. Explaining what they were required name-dropping the competition. Awkward. Okay. After a lukewarm reception, Hershey-ettes were shelved, except for special holiday appearances. Fast forward to the disco era, when Hershey created a sweetened peanut butter meal, crafting a smooth, chocolate-like texture. This breakthrough became the foundation for Reese's Pieces. Originally called PBs, the name eventually morphed into the snappier Reese's Pieces. Good call.
Yeah.
Now, Aricia, do you like the names Hershey-ettes, PBs, or do you think that going Reese's Pieces was the right move?
Hershey-ettes just makes me think of Hershey Kisses doing the Rockettes dances.
Yes, thank you.
I
was
see
like
them
line
in
kicks.
New York City. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. With I'm thinking of the M&Ms now, but that had the legs, but just add those to the Hershey Kisses and then they can start dancing.
Oh.
I love it, but it seems like a feminine version of Hershey's because you throw in the "et" after it.
Right.
But I can see it needing to change. Do you know who the competitor was that they would have to use? Like, how did they describe it?
M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Yep, yeah. And they were like, if this is how we have to explain it for people to get it, then we're just giving them free promo and no free pub. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, things started sweetly enough. Sales soared during the initial launch, but after the honeymoon phase, they began to dip. Not a crisis, but enough to make Hershey sweat, especially since they were expanding production. Enter Universal Studios. One day, Hershey got a call from Hollywood bigwigs working on a new Steven Spielberg flick called E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Yes. The pitch? An alien is coaxed into a house using candy. Universal originally wanted M&Ms, but Mars was... I know. They keep making their way in here. Yeah. But Mars wasn't interested because after being denied access to reading the script before signing on, they famously passed on the chance to feature M&Ms.
Ironically, because their name is Mars and it's an alien,
the synergy
double
writes itself. I know, but I think that they wanted the insider intel.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just didn't have the foresight. So they passed, but Hershey's came in. And so
their loss, Hershey's gain.
Yes. The studio turned to Hershey, and as fate would have it, The VP's son suggested Reese's Pieces. Somebody give that kid a raise.
Yeah.
Jack Dowd, Hershey's director of new product development, flew out to hear Universal's vision. The plan was simple yet genius. Reese's Pieces would be the bait for the alien. Hershey saw an opportunity to save their floundering candy. They invested $1 million into co-promoting E.T., their first ever Hollywood collaboration. Then came the magic. The 1982 E.T. wasn't just a hit, it became a cultural phenomenon. Reese's Pieces got more screen time than some of the supporting actors, and suddenly everyone wanted a piece of the action, literally. Thankfully, Hershey's new factory was ready just in time to meet the jaw-dropping demand. Sales skyrocketed far beyond expectations. Reese's Pieces went from the underdog to Hollywood royalty, all thanks to an alien with a sweet tooth. Now, Aricia, where do you lie on the whole pronunciation battle? Is it Reese's Pieces? Is it Reese's Pieces? Weigh in.
Reese, oh my God. I gotta like cleanse my mind. Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces, yes.
That's
And
I was like, I had to say it automatically to figure out how I say it.
have you heard other people pronounce it Reese's Pieces? And where do you think that all came from?
I feel like it's gotta be like a regional thing.
Is it?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of, I mean, this isn't exactly the same, but like how some people say pop and some people say soda. Like it's just depends on where you learned how to speak this language, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. Well, today, the HB Reese Candy Company operates as a Hershey subsidiary. Why? For one very business savvy reason. The Reese plant's workforce isn't unionized, unlike Hershey's main plant, candy politics. But the real jaw dropper is 2012, Reese's was the best-selling candy brand in the U.S., raking in a cool $2.6 billion with a B in sales.
About half of that was from me.
Oh,
to let you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hershey, you have Aricia to thank.
Yeah.
Send her some products, some merch.
I keep that company alive.
Oh, they have
firmly
you to
in the black.
God bless you. Well, globally, it ranked fourth with $2.6 billion in sales, though a whopping 97% of that came from the U.S. and 95% of that for you. So thank you for your contributions.
Yes, it's an honor.
The HB Reese Candy Company doesn't stop at cups. They also manufacture the U.S. version of Kit Kat, which pulled in $948 million in 2012. By 2017, Reese's was dominating the U.S. convenience store scene. It was a full 62% larger than its closest competitor, with more households buying Reese's products than any other candy brand. Seasonal sales? Forget about it. Aricia, can you guess what percentage of seasonal sales Reese's made up?
Well, you've got the trees, you've got the eggs, you've got the pumpkins. I would say 69%.
Ah, okay. They should have you in their forecasting to boost their sales. Close. Reese's owns 47% of all seasonal candy sales. But when you think about it, that's out of every other candy company. That's almost half that they're dominating, leaving their rivals in the dust. And here's the cherry, or should we say peanut butter, on top. The Reese's Brothers original 666,316 shares of Hershey common stock have grown into a staggering 16 million shares, valued at over $4.4 billion.
Oh my gosh.
Those shares generate annual dividends of $87.6 million. In other words, the Reese family isn't just rolling in candy, they're swimming in a Scrooge McDuck vault of cash.
Literally.
Yeah. Aricia, do you know how many different products Reese's makes today?
Let me see if I can. Well, they've been really expanding their big cup business. There's like big cups with caramel. There's classic big cups. There's like peanut or pretzel big cups. I'm gonna say maybe like 4 to 5 per each. So 24.
Okay. Well, by Price is Right rules, you would win. But Reese's makes over 100 different products.
God, I was so off.
But listen, you didn't go over, so.
God, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make candy bars, spreads, cookies, and cereals. Do
Oh yeah, I
you?
didn't think about all those. I was just thinking
Yeah,
candy. Duh.
yeah. Do you have a favorite of any of these spinoffs?
No, I should say I am a purist when it comes to Reese's.
Fair enough.
So, and this is the kind of thing that'll probably, send the mob after me.
Uh-oh.
I don't like Reese's Pieces.
Mm.
So
You
I
and ET
only
do not have that in common.
we
Okay.
don't have that in common. I'd say the two Reese's that I consume are the standard cups and
Mm-hmm.
then the big cups, which is like double the peanut butter.
Yes.
But I don't like they'll have like white chocolate versions of these, or they'll have dark chocolate versions, or they have like Reese's big cups with Reese's pieces in them. I feel like I'm
Yes.
saying it different every time now.
Variety is the
I
spice
don't
of
like
life.
any of those. I've had the Reese's like the cereal. I don't like the cereal.
Okay.
I have used the Reese's
The peanut butter?
chips, the peanut
Oh,
butter
okay.
chips in
Yes.
baking. I made like
Yes.
a Reese's cookie. My friend and I do like every year we have a little baking party, and I
Oh,
made them one year, and they were pretty good. I'll say that. But
yeah. Well, so how are these little peanut butter cups actually made? Did you know Reese's peanut butter cups start their journey with an impressive 1 million pounds of peanuts roasted every single week? The peanuts get cleaned and sorted and then on to roasting about 200 million peanuts a day. And yes, they make their own peanut butter right on site. While the peanuts are made into a paste and the chocolate is tempering, miles worth of wrappers are lined up. Aricia, I'm gonna test your knowledge once again.
oh god,
Can you guess how many cups are made in a day?
4 million.
Okay. Price is Right rules, you're doing fantastic. But they're producing around 25 million cups a day.
My god, why am I guessing so low? I need to have more faith in my product.
Yes, you've got to shoot high, shoot for the stars. Then it's off to assembly. A shot of chocolate is added to the bottom of the paper cup, followed by a dollop of the peanut butter, which is spread out from the jiggling conveyor belt before a depositor pours out the final chocolate liquid onto coat the cup. They get a poof of air to even out the chocolate and cool down before getting ready to get packaged up. This line alone churns out 20,000 pounds of Reese's every single day. Reese's has nearly 800 employees at their plant, some with more than 40 years under their belts. These pros ensure every peanut butter cup is flawless, from the chocolate coating to the paper cup. That little paper cup matters. It's like a tuxedo for your candy. And yes, humans are still the final checkers to ensure that no cup has a double paper bottom, one of their most common customer complaints. Have you ever found one of these double wrapped cups? Yes. Okay. Somebody's sleeping on the job.
Probably a testament to how often I eat Reese's, but I'd say maybe 5% of the ones I've eaten in my lifetime have had double cups. It feels like a lottery. I once had one with a triple cup. I'm like, this has to mean something good, right? I would think.
Yes. I think three is a lucky number. Yeah. And we should write into the Hershey company. And they're going to be pissed about that. But
I have written to them a couple times.
With under what circumstances?
Complaints
about the cups. The double cups.
Well, no, I found this is it's one of those things where it's like, how much do I say? Because then I just sound like a crazy person. But the summer months, the Reese's tend to be lower quality, and I think it's just because I know they ship them and they send them in. I'm sure like they've used technology to keep them fresh. But the winter months is when it's just they're just solid. The peanut butter is like really the perfect I don't want to use the word moist, but it's not dry. That's what you run the risk
consistency.
Of. Yes, the right consistency. Because sometimes I break the Reese's in half to look. Because like if the peanut butter is like a almost like ashy looking, like it's and like the chocolate too sometimes gets dried out and it's gross. So there have been times when like I'll take a picture and just send it. Because like if I get like a package, it's like these are ruined. I'm not going to eat these.
Right.
So I just let them know. And I'll return them too to the store.
Do they ever give you issues about that, or they accept it?
Usually they've sent me coupons. Actually, they're like, we're sorry
they write
for
back
your...
to you.
Yeah,
they respond.
Yeah. I can't recommend enough if you have a bad product writing to the company, because I've almost always gotten like restitution in some form. Not like don't make it like a business, but like
right.
You spent your money. We work hard for our money. We're expecting a certain product.
Yes,
but yeah, I write letters. I learned it from my mom, who learned it from hers.
Thanks, Mom. Is this pen and paper? Is this email? Is this
It's email. So like
okay?
each of these, like you'll see on the wrapper, like questions, complaints, or whatever,
Yeah,
reach out to us. And so I'll just send them, and they'll like have
and
like a
you're
little
like,
form
I
to fill
will.
out. Yeah, I will. I will. They mess with my Reese's. I actually, this is insane, but I track my spending. So I track literally every penny I spend,
Ah,
and I have different categories. And I have a category that's just candy, which
I
it
love
actually
this.
just means Reese's. I literally only buy Reese's, and it's illegal the amount of money I have spent during
Are you
my heightened periods of Reese's consumption.
are you
So
at liberty to share those figures? You don't have to.
no, I will. So it's like I do it by month. This has been a better year. I mean,
Okay.
the last
For
couple of
who?
years I've been
You or
working,
the Hershey
not for
Company?
Reese's.
Okay.
They're probably in the red now.
Yeah, they're like, Aricia!
I know we need our money.
You have
I
like your own version of the bat signal that they
yes,
put
yes.
out. It's
They're
just
like,
a big
please,
A.
please.
Yeah.
I would say maybe the most I spent was like $200 on Reese's.
Well, with 800 cups wrapped per minute and enough peanut butter cups to circle the globe over 7 times, Reese's is a pretty well-oiled candy-making machine. Over the years, Hershey's has rolled out so many variations from supersized cups to wild flavor mashups. Aricia, I know that you've mentioned some of these already. Let's unwrap the tasty lineup. First, we've got the different sizes. We've got big cup, half pound, king size, miniatures, thins, and world's largest cup.
I've heard of all but the world's largest cup.
Okay, well, each cup clocks in at a whopping 8 ounces. So I think that when I've seen them, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, usually around Christmas time. And they're in those massive, have you ever seen these?
Yeah, those are the half-pound ones. Is that the same as the world's largest one?
Yes, the
I'm
8
only saying
ounces.
that
Yes.
okay, then I have, because I get those occasionally as gifts. When I was just home, my friend was just up at Hershey Park, and she was like, "I brought you this," so
What
I
a
have
good
it currently in
friend.
my fridge. I'm like eating it like a pie.
I love that. Little
Yeah.
slices. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, then we've got the different fillings. Some are no longer in production. There's caramel, crunchy cookie cup, double chocolate, peanut butter and banana cream, and marshmallow. We've got coating switch ups with chocolate lovers, dark chocolate, and white cream. Then the ones with a twist. There's inside out and peanut butter lovers. Are there any of these that you have loved especially, or were familiar with, or want to come back out of retirement?
I'd be curious about the like reverse. I don't know that I've tried any of these. I've probably seen them in occasionally, but
Right, a
I'd
purist.
be
I forget.
curious
Yes.
to see, because the peanut butter is what makes it. Like you still need a little bit of the chocolate, but I often will eat not as much the edges, like how kids don't eat their crust. I don't necessarily eat the edges of the Reese's because it's only milk chocolate. And I actually do not like milk chocolate, which is why it's insane that I love
Ah.
Reese's so much. But it's the peanut butter that makes it, but you still need a little bit of the chocolate to balance it out. So I would try the inverse one just to see what that tastes like.
Right. By proportion, it may offer you a little bit more of what you're looking for. But let's also not forget about the holiday variations. Reese's knows how to party, and their holiday lineup is proof. From egg-shaped Easter treats to pumpkin shapes for Halloween, and they've turned every holiday into a Reese's celebration. And don't forget the Christmas trees or the heart-shaped Valentines. Now, our E.T. movie cameo was a big pop culture moment for Reese's, but we've got some other moments where they've made an appearance. The 70s and 80s were the golden age of Reese's commercials. Picture this: 2 strangers collide, one wielding peanut butter, the other armed with chocolate. Cue the iconic exchange.
Hey, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter.
Peanut butter on my chocolate.
What?
After sampling the happy accident, they'd proclaim the combo's greatness, perfectly summing up the Reese's signature slogan: 2 great tastes that taste great together. By the 90s, Reese's ditched that premise and got existential with their new tagline:
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
If you were to create a tagline, Aricia, what would it be?
I feel like this is probably already a tagline, but something like unwrap happiness.
Oh, I love that.
I feel like I'm probably stealing it from some Don Draper-esque campaign, but something like that.
Yeah.
You got to tie that
I love it.
emotion to the food, you know?
Yes, and who better to come up with it than their number one customer?
Exactly. God,
I love
they
it.
really should consult with me.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, I'm going to send them this episode. They'll know
Okay,
all
great.
about it. Yeah.
Great.
Well, Reese's isn't just a candy, it's a lifestyle, one that even made its way to NASCAR. In 1994, Reese's sponsored Mark Martin and later Kevin Harvick from 2007 to 2010. Fast cars, chocolate, and peanut butter, it's a winning combination. North of the border, Reese's peanut butter cups at one point ditched the possessive apostrophe to become plain old Reese. Why? The apostrophe S isn't really a thing in bilingual packaging, but don't worry, Canadians still call them Reese's because old habits die hard. By 2008, they invaded Europe via Hydro, Texaco, and 7-Eleven. In Australia, Reese's products are beloved imports stocked in specialty candy shops and Costco. So, Aricia, what do you think about the backstory of your favorite food? And do you have any final words about Reese's?
I love this backstory. I've heard bits and pieces of it. Ooh, pieces. From like the tours that I would do whenever I go to the Hershey Park or to the Hershey factory. This is gonna sound so silly, but like I'm biracial, and it's like two different wonderful types of people, two different wonderful types of flavors coming together. I'm like, maybe that's why I like it so much. It just feels like a representation of me. Because I remember those campaigns. Like, I remember some of them. I'm dating myself now, but I definitely remember it's like, you got your chocolate on my peanut butter in that one. I'll see the commercials for it. I think Will Arnett has been narrating. I don't know if he still is, but he's been like, ooh. And like, they'll do like, da-da. They'll play like the sexy music with like the Reese's walking. I'm like, it's just such a good candy. And I don't like the ripoffs. Like, I don't like, you can go to like like an artisanal chocolate store and they'll have like their version of Reese's cups, and it's like, I need straight from Hershey, PA Reese's. I don't need these wannabe $10 ones. So I love Reese's. I think candy brings me joy, and in moderation brings me joy. So I love them. I always have some in my fridge. I have the huge cup right now in my fridge. So
Emergency stash. I love it.
Emergency stash. Yeah. You never know when you need to, in case of emergency, break Reese's.
Your Reese's fix, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, Aricia, thank you so much for sharing your love of Reese's and helping me share its story.
Oh, what an honor. Love Reese's. I can't wait to get feedback, from the six brothers about how great this episode is and when we should start consulting with them.
It's happening soon, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thanks for watching. You can find links and more info in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. See you next time.